everyone, I'm Melanie Brown and welcome to Mel's Kitchen. So tonight I'm going to teach you how to make a simple fried bread. This is something that I ate growing up. My family, we made it a lot. It's really simple to make, 3 ingredients, and it's so yummy. We would have it with, say, a pot of chili or soup beans, or you could have it in for breakfast with some eggs instead of your toast. And that's actually what I'm going to do with it tonight. We're going to have breakfast for dinner tonight, so I'm going to make some soft eggs and some crispy bacon, and then this fried bread dough to dip in that center yolk. So come along and I'll show you how to do this. Okay, so the first thing we have here are our ingredients: some regular all-purpose flour, baking powder, and iodized salt. Pretty simple, 3 ingredients to make this. So to my bowl here, I've already added 2 cups of the flour, a teaspoon and a half of salt, and a teaspoon and a half of the baking powder. Now, next thing I want to do is I'm going to mix this together, and then I'm going to go over here to the sink and I'm going to add some water to this. I'll show you how we do that. We just want to pour it in slowly and mix it until we get a nice soft dough. Okay, I've got my dry ingredients combined together, and I'm just going to make a well in the middle, or a hole. And now I have my water that I've gotten over here at my sink, and I'm just going to pour in a little bit at a time. I am not measuring the water. The reason you don't do the water is because it's more about the consistency of the dough. And as you see, I'm stirring a little bit in at a time through that center well. And gradually I'm going to bring more flour into that liquid. We don't want to add too much at one time because it can get too runny. Same as we don't want to bring too much flour into the center all at once, because then you get like a chunky, dry, not so good dough. So we're going to add just a little bit more, a couple tablespoons or so at a time. We're going to stir this in until we get a nice soft, it'll be a little bit sticky, but not too sticky. And we just gradually work this in. This is such a yummy thing, and it's so simple. It's part of my roots. It's what I grew up eating. And one of the reasons is, for one, it's inexpensive to make, very few ingredients, things that most people, if you cook at all, you have these things in your home. I mean, they're kind of staples. And then the other thing about it is, it was a good way to stretch a meal. When my family, we were growing up and just didn't always have a lot. My parents, we made do the best we could. My family, we would, this would make a meal go a lot further. You had the fried bread dough to accompany the meal, and it would stretch that meal and kind of fill your bellies up a little bit more. Maybe you had a small piece of meat. This would make that piece of meat go a lot further as far as filling up your belly. Okay, now I'm going to roll my sleeves up and get in here with my hands. And as you work this dough, you see it's pretty sticky at first. And now I'm going to open my flour bin, and I'm going to add to it just a tiny bit more, because I did add a little too much water, and that was my own fault. And again, it's really about the consistency. You want to look for a nice soft a little bit sticky dough, but not too sticky. Right now it's pretty sticky. As you can see, it's sticking to my hands. So we're gonna just kind of eyeball it a little bit. Maybe just a tad more. I don't want this to be too dry. I actually do want it to be a little sticky. And it will stick to my fingers a bit. I just don't want it to stick too much. Do you see how that's a nice soft dough, but a little sticky? That's what we're going for. Pretty simple, pretty fast to make. Okay, so I'm gonna just pinch off a piece right here. And then I'm gonna shape this out into a nice round patty. It does not have to be perfect, but you do want it to be thin, because these are gonna puff up a lot when you fry them. So what starts out looking really thin, you'll be surprised at how big it ends up being when it's all said and done. So this is what we're looking for. All right, so over here at the stove, we've got our bacon frying up, and this is gonna accompany our eggs and this yummy fried bread. Okay, I've got my cast iron pan here with about 1/4 of an inch of vegetable oil in it. I'm going to turn my burner on to a little under medium heat, and I'm going to let it start heating up until I start to see some small bubbles form in the oil, and then we're going to fry the bread. Okay, so my oil is pretty hot. I took a little piece, and I'll do it again so you can see, little piece of the dough and just dropped it in there. And you can see how the bubbles are forming. That's what we want to see. That means it's ready. Now I'm going to very gently place my dough in the pan. Carefully, not to splash it all over me. Don't want to get burnt. And I'm just going to put a few of them in at a time. I don't want to overcrowd it. I want to give it plenty of room to cook. Alright, so we're going to let that go until you see it start turning golden brown around the outside edges, and then we're going to flip it. Alright, as you can see here, the bread has risen up. Do you see how it's gotten nice and puffed? The underneath is nice and golden brown. And we're going to just give it a nice flip. It's been cooking on that side for about 7 minutes. You do not want to cook it too hot, because you'll end up with a raw doughy bread. It won't be cooked through. Alright, so look at that nice golden color on that fluffy bread. Alright, so look at this plate of food. And this is our bread. You see, it's kind of crunchy on the outside, it's soft in the inside. You pull it apart, it's a little chewy. And then watch this. I'm going to dip it right there in that egg. And that's good. Alright folks, so there you have it. That's our fried bread. I hope you all like this video. I hope you'll try my bread. If you haven't already eaten this before, give it a try. It's really yummy. And if you have, let me know. I'd like to hear about it. Also, like my videos, share my video, and please subscribe to my channel.